that. It is true, I did go on a crusade to publish my childhood diary into a book. But neither would my first book, Stolen Innocence, or my second book, Living for Today, that just came out in November, be possible had it not been for the Children's Advocacy Center, the reason we are all here today. It was in April of 1998, I was 13 years old, that I was brought to that center with my younger sister. My younger sister and I had been sexually abused by an older teenage cousin, who for a year and a half told me no one would believe me, this is our little secret, and if I told anyone, I would destroy our tight-knit, large family. And I believed those threats. I stayed silent, like so many children do. Do you know that 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday? It's a silent epidemic here in America that nobody ever wants to talk about. We all want to look the other way, pretend it's not going on, but the truth of the matter is, it is. It is going on in our society, and something needs to be done about it. So I decided to put a face and voice on it, but I would have never been able to put that face and voice on this message had I never walked through those doors of the Children's Advocacy Center. I was 13 years old. I walked in there with fear, confusion, afraid, in the back of my mind thinking nobody's going to believe me. This was our little secret. I walked out of there with the message of being able to trust somebody, being told that I do believe the story you were telling, and understanding that these people are going to seek out the justice my sister and I deserved. And it was through that message that I got the day I walked out of the Children's Advocacy Center that I describe in both my books as the foundation of my healing, of being able to finally break my silence and begin to put a face and voice on such a hush-hush topic. But the Children's Advocacy Center didn't stop there for our family. The center continued to help our family by providing both my sister and I, who's here tonight, with support groups for other girls our age who had experienced sexual abuse like this. Because when I turned to some of my closest and near dear friends, they didn't understand. They didn't understand the nightmares, the flashbacks of what my sister and I had endured. Where being in groups with other girls, they did understand. They were going down the same path we were going down. And then I remember being 13, 14 years old and looking at my parents and seeing the anger and the frustration of what were the warning signs we missed. How could we have protected our kids? And playing the blame game, blaming themselves for something they didn't do. Because as I describe in both my books, you can't protect your children from everything. You cannot watch them 24/7. So through the Children's Advocacy Center, there was once again another group, a group for my parents, to understand that they did not need to hold on to this anger and hatred. They were not at fault for this happening to us. The perpetrator was, not my parents. And the other parents were able to relate with one another and understand where maybe some of their closest friends couldn't understand as parents what they were going through, many other parents could. Because as I said, the statistics are alarming, and there are many other families out there that are walking down the same steps my parents did right now today. And so I decided to put a face and voice on it. After finding my voice, finding the courage and strength to begin to speak out, after taking those few steps through the Children's Advocacy Center, by being a face and voice, going out there, becoming a volunteer for the Children's Advocacy Center, doing the Chicago Marathon, volunteering at other events, and then deciding to fly across the country and speak on the subject in front of schools, children's advocacy centers, national conferences, to put a face and voice on something many people will not talk about. And the amazing thing about it, the biggest, greatest thing that I'm most proud of the Children's Advocacy Center is most places, you go see a counselor, you go see a therapist, they want your $150, write me a check, where's your insurance card? The Children's Advocacy Center is completely nonprofit. It is free. The money comes from the generous donations of people like yourselves. So I want you guys all, there's going to be some hands that are being passed out. I want you to look at these hands. These are the hands that you will be walking home with today. The hands of innocent children that were just like my sister and I that walked through these same doors. The hands of children that have been abused in some way. And I want you to look at these hands and be reminded of when you have the encouragement and the motivation to make a donation to the Children's Advocacy Center, to know that you are making a difference. You're making a tremendous difference in a child's life, and it's a first step in a child's life in moving forward and healing their life.